The fire hasn't stopped, and neither have we. The first 5 games of August 5th set the betting board ablaze, but now we dive even deeper into the second wave of matchups, the next 5 games where value lives in the margins and winners are found between the lines. Game 6 brings the Boston Red Sox into hostile Kansas City to face a Royals team quietly stacking wins behind Bobby Witt Jr.'s explosive summer surge. Game 7 gives us a gritty East meets Midwest showdown between the New York Mets and Cleveland Guardians, where newly acquired Juan Soto could be the X-factor in a game with elite starting arms and sneaky home run props. Game 8 might be the most electric on the board as the Atlanta Braves lock horns with the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers. Power meets pitching, and every inning matters in this heavyweight National League collision. Game 9 brings us to a classic rivalry in the making, the Cubs versus Reds, 2 teams loaded with young sluggers and inconsistent bullpens. Expect fireworks, betting chaos, and high totals. And finally, Game 10 puts the New York Yankees in the spotlight against the Texas Rangers, with Juan Soto now in pinstripes and primed to smash as the Yankees look to control their playoff narrative. You want strikeout props, total base ladders, SGPs that can cash by the 6th inning. This is where you get them. Every pitch matters, every at-bat could shift your bet, and we're breaking it all down with precision, passion, and cold-blooded betting logic. This isn't about fandom. This is about beating the book. Welcome to part 2 of your all-access breakdown to August 5th MLB action, the premium, no fluff, pure fire segment of Beyond the Box Score. The matchup between the New York Mets and Cleveland Guardians presents an intriguing betting opportunity as 2 underperforming but dangerous teams clash at Progressive Field. The Mets are trotting out right-hander Tyler Megill, who's 3-5 with a 4.84 ERA across 12 starts, while Cleveland counters with Triston McKenzie, who's 4-6 with a 4.17 ERA in 17 outings. This is a meeting between 2 teams stuck in the middle tier of their respective leagues, Cleveland still trying to stay in AL wildcard contention, while the Mets are seeking to play spoiler and build momentum behind their offense. This game offers layers of value, from first 5-inning plays to full game totals, elite batter versus pitcher matchups, and undervalued home run props. This is a night to stay sharp with both bullpens unreliable and offenses capable of getting hot fast. Megill has been inconsistent all season and his road splits are especially concerning. Away from Citi Field, he holds a 6.10 ERA with 8.289 opponent batting average in 7 road starts. His strikeout numbers, 56 kiloseconds in 61 innings, don't inspire confidence, and he's walking 3.8 batters per 9. Megill's biggest vulnerability is early damage. Opponents are hitting .308 the first time through the order, so expect Cleveland to be aggressive. On the flip side, McKenzie has been a bit of a mystery. He's allowed 17 home runs this season and walks are a big issue, 38 BBs in 82.1 innings. He has, however, been solid at home, limiting hitters to 8.211 average at Progressive Field. McKenzie thrives when he's ahead in counts, but left-handed bats are slashing .266, .345, .534 against him, which opens up a path for Mets lefties like Brandon Nimmo and Francisco Lindor to do damage. Lindor, a former Guardian, has historically crushed his old team, with 4 hours and 8.315 average in 15 games versus Cleveland. On the betting side, the total for this game opened at 9.5, and there's a strong lean toward the over. Both teams rank top 12 in hours since the All-Star break, and both starters have HR 9 marks above 1.4. Weather will also help the hitters. 78 degrees Fahrenheit at first pitch with a 10-mile-per-hour wind blowing out to left center, ideal for right-handed power. That makes Pete Alonso a live HR prop candidate. He's plus 285 to go yard and has hit 3 home runs in his last 5 games. Another strong value HR prop is Jose Ramirez at plus 340. Ramirez has 7 hours in his last 20 games and faces a pitcher like Megill who struggles keeping the ball in the yard. On total basis, Look at Francisco Lindor over 1.5 plus 105, who is 10 for 27 lifetime off McKenzie with 2 doubles and a homer. For the Guardians, Stephen Kwan is a good value pick for 2+ hits at plus 195, given his elite contact rate and the fact he's facing a pitcher who doesn't miss many bats. As for strikeout props, Medjol is listed at 4.5 with juice on the under, -135, and that feels appropriate. Cleveland ranks dead last in MLB in strikeout rate, striking out just 18.3% of the time. Medjol has only cleared 4.5 strikeouts in 2 of his last 7 starts, and with this matchup, the under is playable. Tristan McKenzie is also set at 5.5 kiloseconds, and while the Mets are middle of the road in K rate, they've been striking out more lately. McKenzie to record 6+ Ks at plus 110 is worth a sprinkle if you trust his command early, though volatility remains a concern. Looking at first 5 inning plays, the over 4.5 in the first 5 frames is strong. Both starting pitchers can give up crooked numbers early, and neither bullpen is elite enough to justify holding off for full game overs. Both teams have been profitable to the over in first 5 markets recently. The Mets are 6-1 to the over in first 5s over their last 7 road games, while the Guardians are 5-2 in that same span at home. You can also pair this with an SGP angle, Guardians Moneyline plus Jose Ramirez to record a hit plus Pete Alonso to hit hour at plus 725, a high upside parlay built around the game's 2 biggest bats. Another SGP build worth considering. Mets full game team total over 4.5 plus Francisco Lindor 2+ total bases plus McKenzie under 6.5 strikeouts at plus 500. It's built around Mets' offensive success versus McKenzie's reverse splits and walk issues. If you want a leaner version, Mets moneyline plus Lindor hit plus Alonso RBI is around plus 425 and offers good value if you expect New York's top of the order to produce. In terms of final score prediction, expect a back and forth game with scoring coming early. The Mets may jump out in front, but the Guardians have a better bullpen, top 10 in bullpen era, and should find a way to close. Guardians 6, Mets 5, a 1-run home win in a game that likely goes over the posted total. The best bet remains the full game over 9.5 -110, with lean on Guardians moneyline and props targeting Lindor, Alonso, and Ramirez. Stay sharp and watch for live betting value if either pitcher gets chased early. The Atlanta Braves and Milwaukee Brewers face off in what could be a high-stakes preview of a possible playoff clash. As the calendar flips to August and teams begin to make their push for the postseason, both the Braves and Brewers are entering with very different recent trajectories. The Braves, once seen as the juggernaut of the National League, have looked shaky in the past few weeks, losing ground in the division and dealing with inconsistent starting pitching. On the other hand, the Brewers have quietly surged back to the top of the NL Central with their elite bullpen and an offense that, while not explosive, has gotten clutch hits when needed. This Saturday showdown at American Family Field has both narrative heat and betting value, with the Braves desperate to assert dominance and the Brewers eager to solidify their standing as a real contender. Expected starters for this one are Max Fried for Atlanta and Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. Fried, the left-handed ace of the Braves staff, has a 9-4 record with a 3.12 ERA and 1.15 WHIP in 105 innings pitched. He's coming off a rough outing against the Diamondbacks where he gave up 5 runs on 10 hits, but historically he's bounced back well after poor starts. Fried's road splits are slightly worse than his home numbers, posting a 3.59 ERA in away games compared to 2.65 at home. His success will hinge on neutralizing the Brewers' lefty mashers and managing the pitch count early, especially since Milwaukee has shown a tendency to grind out at-bats and drive starters out before the 6th inning. Meanwhile, Freddie Peralta has been one of the more electric arms for Milwaukee, entering with an 8-6 record and a 3.90 ERA, but more impressively, 145 strikeouts in 114.2 innings, giving him an elite 11.4K9 rate. He's been especially dominant at home, allowing just a .201 batting average and striking out 31% of batters at American Family Field. His fastball-slider combo has devastated right-handed hitters, but the Braves' left-handed heavy lineup could pose a serious challenge. From an offensive perspective, the Braves are still a home run machine, even in the absence of Ronald Acuna Jr. Matt Olson leads the team with 28 home runs, and he's started to heat up after a slow June, with 6 bombs and a .561 slugging percentage since the All-Star break. Austin Riley has been less consistent, but his power remains a threat, especially against fastball-heavy pitchers like Peralta. Ozzie Albies and Marcell Ozuna have provided steady production, with Ozuna actually pacing the team with 79 RBIs and a .287 average. The Braves rank second in the National League in slugging percentage and third in home runs, which gives them the edge in terms of offensive ceiling. However, they've struggled mightily against elite bullpens, and Milwaukee has arguably the best in the game. Closer Devin Williams, though inconsistent this year, still sports a 2.87 ERA with a 38% strikeout rate, and setup men Joel Payamps and Hobie Milner have combined for over 100 innings of SUB 3.00 ERA ball. On the Brewers' side, Christian Yelich remains the heartbeat of the offense, batting .289 with 12 hours and 20 stolen bases. William Contreras, ironically facing his former team, has provided a steady bat from the catcher position, hitting .278 with 13 hours and leading the team in OBP. Rookie Jackson Chourio has been electric, with 6 homers and 12 steals in just 45 games, bringing game-breaking speed and surprising pop from the bottom of the order. But Milwaukee's run production often depends on timely hits and small ball tactics. They're not built to slug with the Braves, so their path to winning lies in pitching, defense, and aggressive base running. Their 73% stolen base success rate and high team-wide walk rate give them multiple ways to manufacture runs. Let's talk betting. The Braves opened as slight favorites at -120 on the moneyline with the Brewers around +100, but early sharp action has pushed this toward a pick'em in some markets. The total is set at 8.5, which is tricky given both pitchers' strikeout upside and the potential for late-inning scoring. I lean under here, especially if Fried regains command and Peralta keeps the ball in the yard. The Braves are 13-9 to the under when Fried starts, and 7 of the last 9 meetings between these teams have gone under 9 runs. On the spread, the Brewers +1.5 at -150 may be the safer parlay piece, but the most value sits in targeting player props and building a same-game parlay around strikeouts, total bases, and team runs. Here's a sharp SGP build to consider. Start with Freddie Peralta 7+ strikeouts, something he's done in 4 of his last 5 starts. Add Matt Olson to hit 2+ total bases, considering he's 5 for 11 off Peralta with 2 homers lifetime. Next, sprinkle in Christian Yelich to record a hit, as he's riding a 9-game hit streak. Wrap it up with Brewers +1.5 on the alternate spread. That 4-leg parlay should pay around +500 depending on the book. You could even ladder Peralta's strikeouts up to 9+ for a juicier payout, especially if he's efficient through 6 innings. For HR props, Olson at +320 and Ozuna at +400 both carry value, while Contreras to go yard against his old team at +650 could be worth a small bet. On the K props side, Fried over 5.5 strikeouts at +110 is tempting, though I'd wait for lineups to confirm if the Brewers start their usual lefty-heavy order, which would limit his upside. Final score prediction: Braves 4, Brewers 3. Expect a tight, playoff-style game where bullpen execution and 1 or 2 long balls decide it late. With playoff seeding on the line, this game is a must-watch, and more importantly, a strong angle for calculated, value-driven betting. The New York Yankees hosting the Texas Rangers in Yankee Stadium on August 4 is more than just another high-stakes AL matchup. It's a serious measuring stick for two playoff hopefuls loaded with power, pitching depth, and postseason ambition. Texas enters this one sitting in a dogfight in the AL West, desperately clawing to keep up with Houston and Seattle. Meanwhile, the Yankees, despite injuries and lineup inconsistencies, remain one of the most dangerous teams in baseball with one of the best home records in the majors. This game doesn't just provide baseball intrigue, it presents premium betting value from every angle: totals, player props, and same-game parlays. Let's start with the projected pitching matchup. The Yankees are expected to send Marcus Stroman, 9-5, 3.38 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, to the mound. Stroman's bounce-back campaign continues to impress, especially when pitching in the Bronx, where he's posted a 2.91 ERA and held opposing hitters to 8.214 batting average. Stroman's sinker-heavy arsenal limits the long ball, a key factor against a slugging Texas team. Opposite him, the Rangers will roll with lefty Andrew Heaney, 7-9, 4.49 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Heaney has been up and down all year and struggles with command on the road. His ERA jumps to 5.12 in away starts, and he's allowed 14 home runs in his last 10 appearances, something that spells danger in hitter-friendly Yankee Stadium. From a matchup standpoint, the Yankees have the clear edge on the bump, especially if Stroman is locating early and getting ground balls. The bats in this game are the real headline. Aaron Judge is absolutely destroying the baseball. He's hit .361 with 13 home runs since the All-Star break. His numbers against lefties are staggering: 8.340 batting average and an absurd .740 slugging percentage. This is the exact kind of pitcher Judge crushes. Heaney's flyball tendencies and middle-of-the-zone mistakes play perfectly into Judge's hot zone. Look for Judge to go deep, +260 our prop, and to hit over 1.5 total bases, +100. Also keep an eye on Gleyber Torres, who has a solid history against Heaney, including a pair of home runs and 8.455 OBP. On the Texas side, Adolis Garcia has been the offensive engine all season with 26 home runs and 81 RBIs, and he's always dangerous with runners on base. However, Stroman's history against Garcia is decent, just a .222 average across 9 plate appearances. Another sneaky play could be Marcus Semien, who hits well against sinkerball pitchers and is riding a modest 6-game hitting streak. Team-wise, the Yankees average 5.12 runs per game at home, one of the top figures in MLB. They've gone over the total in 10 of their last 12 home games, and against Heaney and the Texas bullpen, 4.61 ERA since July 1st, they should be able to hang at least 5 or 6 runs. On the other hand, the Rangers struggle to score in away games, averaging just 3.89 runs on the road, with a significant drop-off in slugging percentage. This has translated to Texas going under the game total in 8 of their last 11 road contests. From a betting perspective, the Yankees ML -145 looks like strong value given Stroman's consistency at home and the matchup with a vulnerable Heaney. The Yankees -1.5 RL +145 is a solid sprinkle with Judge red hot and New York's offense clicking at home. The game total is set at 8.5, and with both teams capable of putting up runs in bunches, the over 8.5 -110 is in play, especially considering bullpen volatility on both sides. The Yankees' pen has been shaky since the All-Star break, and Texas's late-inning relievers are far from lockdown. As for prop markets, we love the Aaron Judge over 1.5 total bases and HR prop at +260. He's also worth the latter play on 2+ hours +1000 given the matchup. Gleyber Torres over 0.5 RBIs, +145, and Marcus Semien over 1.5 total bases, +125, are also strong considerations. Stroman's strikeout line sits at 5.5, and we lean under here, -115, as Texas ranks top 6 in lowest strikeout rate versus right-handers. Meanwhile, Heaney's over 1.5 walks allowed minus 130 is a sharp bet, especially against a disciplined Yankees lineup. For your same-game parlay, consider this build. Yankees ML plus Judge Hour plus over 8.5 total runs equals plus 525. You could ladder it with a variant featuring Judge 2 plus RBI plus Gleyber Torres 1 plus hit plus Yankees team total over 4.5 for an odds explosion north of plus 800. Final score prediction: Yankees 6, Rangers 3. The Yankees are simply too tough at home with Stroman on the mound and Judge in peak form. Texas is dangerous, but Heaney's inconsistency is likely to burn them in this spot. All signs point toward a Yankees win, a solid overplay, and a chance to hit big on offensive props and parlays. The rivalry between the Chicago Cubs and Cincinnati Reds resumes on August 5 with a game that promises not just divisional tension but also major betting opportunities. The setting is Great American Ballpark, a hitter-friendly venue known for launching home runs at a higher-than-average rate, and that could play a major factor in this matchup given the contrasting team trajectories. The Cubs, sitting fourth in the NL Central, have struggled to find consistency on the mound and at the plate, while the Reds have shown significant improvement post-All-Star break, especially offensively. First pitch is scheduled for 1:40 p.m. EST, and this early slate divisional contest has the makings of a high-scoring affair with plenty of market value. Starting for the Cubs is left-hander Jordan Wicks, who enters the game with a 5.44 ERA and a 1.58 WHIP across 14 starts. Wicks has allowed at least 3 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 outings, and his walk rate of 4.2 BB9 is especially concerning in a ballpark where mistakes are punished. Wicks also gives up a .292 opponent batting average, and his inability to consistently command his fastball has made him vulnerable to right-handed power bats, something the Reds have in surplus. Meanwhile, the Reds are expected to counter with right-hander Graham Ashcraft, who is 7-9 with a 4.61 ERA and a 1.43 WHIP in 118 innings pitched. Ashcraft has been erratic this season, alternating strong outings with blow-up starts, and he's surrendered 16 home runs already. He does have a better home ERA, 3.88, than on the road, but his 18.7% strikeout rate remains below league average, giving Cubs hitters chances to put the ball in play. Offensively, the Reds have surged to become one of the league's most dangerous teams against left-handed pitching, hitting .264 as a team versus Southpaws with a .773 OPS. Elly De La Cruz continues to be their engine, hitting .282 with 21 homers, 36 stolen bases, and a .508 slugging percentage. He's been particularly effective against lefties, batting .296 with a 149 WRC+ in those matchups. Spencer Steer and Christian Encarnacion Strand have added steady production, combining for 31 homers and 98 RBI on the season. De La Cruz is one of the top home run props on the board at plus 360, while his total bases line at over 1.5 sits at a reasonable plus 110. The Reds average 5.6 runs per game at home and are third in the NL in runs scored since the All-Star break, which supports an aggressive approach on team total bets. On the Cubs' side, offense has come in streaks. Cody Bellinger, while showing flashes of MVP-level play, has been inconsistent and is batting just .254 with 14 home runs. Seiya Suzuki has provided some pop, hitting .268 with 15 bombs, but the Cubs have lacked consistent table setters. Christopher Morel leads the team in homers with 20, but he's struck out in nearly 30% of his plate appearances. Facing a contact-first pitcher like Ashcraft could benefit Morel, especially given his aggressive swing rate early in counts. Morel's home run prop is plus 390 and total bases at over 1.5 comes in at plus 130, offering good value in a favorable park. Ian Happ has also been productive of late, going 11 FOR 28 over his last 7 games, and could be a sneaky prop play for hits or total bases. From a betting perspective, The over-under is currently posted at 9.5 runs with heavy juice on the over at -120, indicating early sharp money favoring offense. That aligns well with the statistical profiles of both starters and the ballpark conditions. The Reds are priced around -135 on the money line, while the Cubs come back at +115, reflecting Ashcraft's slightly stronger form and the Reds' recent dominance at home. The Reds are 6-2 in their last 8 home games and have covered the run line in 4 of their last 5 against teams under .500. The Cubs, meanwhile, are 3-7 in their last 10 overall and have dropped 6 straight road games where Jordan Wicks has started. Looking at same-game parlay options, there's strong value in combining multiple correlated outcomes based on the Reds' offensive strength and Wicks' recent struggles. A smart SGP leg build could look like Elly de la Cruz 2+ total bases, Spencer Steer to record a hit, Reds team total over 4.5 runs, and Cubs over 1.5 walks. Ashcraft allows a high on-base rate. That 4-leg SGP could easily pay around +475 depending on the book. Bettors who want more upside could add a de la Cruz stolen base or even a Morel home run leg to drive it over +1000, though that increases volatility. Strikeout props offer an edge as well. Wicks' strikeout line is currently set at 4.5 with -105 juice to the under. Given the Reds' aggressive but improving plate approach, the under is playable, especially considering Wicks hasn't pitched deep into games lately. On the other side, Ashcraft's K prop is also set at 4.5 but juiced to the under at -130. The Cubs rank in the middle of the league in K percent versus right-handed pitchers, so this market may be sharp to stay away from or parlay only lightly. In the team total market, the Reds over 4.5 at -105 presents value given their matchup advantage and the ballpark boost. The Cubs over 3.5 is even money and offers a bit of value in case Ashcraft struggles with command early, especially if Bellinger or Happ can jump on mistake pitches. However, team total unders on the Cubs have cashed in 61% of Wicks' road starts, which may lean bettors toward alternate unders if weather favors pitchers. As for the final score prediction, this game feels like a 6-4 Reds win. Wicks is likely to struggle early, and though Ashcraft isn't elite, the Cubs lineup lacks enough firepower to capitalize for big innings. Look for the Reds to tack on runs late with their dynamic lineup, especially against a tired Cubs bullpen that ranks 25th in ERA over the last month. If Cincinnati can get even 5 competent innings from Ashcraft, their offense should take care of the rest. In summary, this game presents a multitude of betting angles built on matchup strength and recent form. Best bets include Reds ML -135, over 9.5 runs -120, de la Cruz over 1.5 total bases +110, and Reds team total over 4.5 -105. For SGPs, look to build around de la Cruz props and team scoring metrics for high upside plays. With the Cubs fading and the Reds pushing forward in the NL Central, the energy, stats, and trends all point to a Cincinnati victory in a game where the bats should roar louder than the arms. The Texas Rangers head into Yankee Stadium on August 5 looking to gain ground in the American League wild card race, and they do so behind one of the more underrated arms in the AL this season, right-hander Jon Gray. Gray has quietly put together a very effective 2025 campaign, entering this game with a 7-6 record, a 3.74 ERA, and a WHIP of 1.21 across 21 starts. What stands out with Gray is his increased use of the slider, now throwing it over 37% of the time, which has helped him generate a 27.8% whiff rate and hold right-handed batters to just a .221 average. In his last outing against the Athletics, Gray tossed 6 scoreless innings while striking out 7 and walking just 1, showing excellent command and poise on the mound. He'll need every bit of that against a Yankees lineup that, despite lacking Juan Soto, still boasts plenty of power threats in Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and rising star Spencer Jones, who was called up earlier in the season and has begun finding his rhythm at the big league level. For the Yankees, Marcus Stroman gets the nod, and he's been a mixed bag this year. The veteran righty sits at 9-7 with a 4.11 ERA, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Over his last 5 starts, Stroman has struggled with hard contact, giving up 8 home runs and allowing opponents to slug .513 during that span. His ground ball rate has dipped slightly to 45.7%, and when Stroman isn't keeping the ball on the ground, he's far less effective. Against a Rangers lineup that is top 10 in the league in fly ball percentage and team slugging, that could spell trouble. Corey Seager is always dangerous against sinkerballers like Stroman, and he's batting .306 with a .561 SLG against right-handers this year. Add in Adolis Garcia, who has 26 home runs on the season and is slugging .622 against two-seam fastballs, and this could be a nightmare matchup for Stroman if his command isn't sharp early. The Yankees will look to counter with power and plate discipline. Judge remains their centerpiece, having launched 35 home runs with a league-leading .674 slugging percentage and a .430 OBP. His walk rate is over 17%, and he's been a monster against breaking pitches, especially sliders, something to watch in his matchup with Gray. Stanton has been streaky, but he's crushed 4 homers in his last 10 games and has hit Gray well historically, going 6 for 15 with 2 long balls in past meetings. However, the Yankees lineup lacks depth beyond those 2 threats. Gleyber Torres has been inconsistent, Anthony Volpe has regressed since the All-Star break, and DJ LeMahieu, though solid with contact, isn't the same threat he once was. The bottom of the lineup remains a problem area, especially with no Juan Soto to bail them out. Their team ops since July 1st is .712, good for 20th in the majors. That lack of lineup depth gives Gray a clearer path to manage innings as long as he avoids the heart of the order. From a betting perspective, the Rangers come in as slight underdogs at +112 on the money line, while the Yankees are -130 favorites. The total is set at 9 runs, and sharp money has come in on the over, which makes sense given Stroman's recent struggles and the Rangers' tendency to mash fastballs. Texas is 9-3 to the over in their last 12 road games against right-handed starters, and they've averaged 5.8 runs per game over that stretch. Meanwhile, the Yankees' bullpen has posted a 4.59 ERA in July, ranking 24th in the majors, and Michael King's struggles as the setup man have led to blown leads. That creates a live betting angle if the Rangers trail early, as they've staged comebacks in 16 games this season, ranking 3rd in the AL in late-inning runs. Prop markets offer some juicy opportunities in this one. Aaron Judge over 1.5 total bases is priced around -110 and has hit in 11 of his last 14 home games. Corey Seager to hit a home run is +330, and he's hit 5 homers in his last 12 games at Yankee Stadium. John Gray's strikeout prop is set at 5.5 with the over priced at +105, which offers value considering the Yankees have the 3rd highest strikeout rate in the league against sliders and curveballs combined. Adolis Garcia over 0.5 RB is at +125 is another strong play, especially if he bats with runners on against Stroman's sinker-heavy approach. Marcus Stroman under 16.5 outs recorded, -115, is worth consideration given his recent short outings and the power threat Texas brings. As for SGP and parlay legs, there's a sharp way to construct value. A 3-leg same-game parlay at +575 could look like this: Aaron Judge to record 2+ total bases, Corey Seager to hit a home run, and Rangers moneyline. For a more conservative SGP, parlay Gray 5+ strikeouts, Garcia to record a hit, and the total over 8.5 runs at +390 odds. For a multi-game parlay, consider pairing Rangers ML with Braves ML and Cubs Reds over 9.5 for a 3-leg +630 parlay with upside and risk appropriately balanced. If you're looking for a bold long shot, Take the Rangers to win by 2+ runs, alt run line -1.5, at +195 and attach Seager to homer and Garcia over 1.5 total bases for a +950 parlay that correlates nicely if Stroman falters. The bottom line is that while Yankee Stadium presents challenges for any road team, the Rangers are in a good situational spot here. They have the more reliable starter in Gray, more depth throughout their lineup, and a bullpen that's posted a 3.42 ERA since the break, much better than the Yankees' shaky relief corps. With Soto gone and little lineup protection beyond Judge and Stanton, it's easy to envision Texas controlling this game. If Gray gets through 5 with a lead, look for Texas to hold it. Play the Rangers on the money line, consider the over 9, and isolate props for Seager, Judge, and Garcia in what should be an entertaining offensive battle in the Bronx. You just powered through 10 games of elite insight, prop gold, and sharp reads. But the work isn't done. We're not stopping until every single edge is exposed. Part 3 is coming up next. The final stretch of our August 5th slate, where we cover the closers, the late-night sweats, and the most overlooked totals that could bring you the biggest returns. We're talking about under-the-radar pitching duels, lefty masher splits, and late-game heroics that cash your SGP when everyone else is asleep. If you're serious about winning, if you're tired of surface-level takes and want elite-level baseball analysis with betting angles that actually hit, then make sure you subscribe to Beyond the Box Score right now. Smash that like button if you're riding with us. Turn on the bell so you never miss a play. This is the channel where the sharpest minds meet the smartest money. Let's finish strong. Part 3 is up next.